The next question is somewhat on the same line. Is what control does the town council have over employee pensions? And what would you choose to pursue? Let's begin with Jerry on this.
Well, town pensions is one of those, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, is one of those areas, or I guess one of the other questions, one of those areas that we ought to take a close look at. There are a lot of aspects to it, and these things need to be negotiated with the employee unions. I'm pushing. I feel a sense of urgency on this, and I'm pushing that we set some goals for our negotiating strategy by the first quarter of next year. This is something we shouldn't be talking about for the next 12, 18 months. This is something that we've got to make some decisions on, and all the compensation is whether to go to second tier or there's talk at the state level rolling back to 1999 levels. If that were to happen, to get a state budget, that certainly would be a big factor for a lot of local agencies to rethink the more liberal benefits they've given since that time. Thank you.
Bill?
You can do a lot of things with pensions. You don't necessarily have to change, for example, the agency or the payouts. But what we can do with our benefit plan and the negotiations with the unions is look at the time frame when the people actually can start collecting on them. Today, the police can retire at 50. A public works employee retires around 55. You can also look at the contributory levels of the employee versus the city. So there's some levers that you can play with, and I think that when we've got problems in that area, we need to be creative and look at what those are and use those in negotiations to try and get the right mix and make it a win-win. We're not into takeaways, but at the same time, I think that we all need, when we're in a world of hurt, we all need to contribute a little bit. So thank you.
All right, Jim? Yes.
Well, all of our employees are unionized, and this is not the way I would like it, but you've got to deal with what you have, not the way you would like it to be. And as I mentioned previously, many of our union contracts are terminating the present contracts in June, and so we will start negotiating with the unions by January. And I believe that we can make some real changes. Some of the things that Bill has mentioned, the employees will have to contribute more to their pension funds and contribute to the other benefits, and of course that has to be all negotiated. One of the things we have to avoid are lawsuits when we do this, because we've had some lawsuits previously, and we spent $900,000 last year in litigation expenses, and if we are not careful and clever in the way we do it, we can end up with more of that, and that's not what we want.
All right, thank you. Cary?
The key is during negotiations. You've heard everybody else say, it's time to have the employees understand that we're looking at longevity, we're looking at their retirement as well. And no, we don't want them to go, but we still have to be concerned of the contribution factor. And labor negotiations with unions is tough. Contributions to their retirement, these are all tough times. And as the union contract comes up next year, we're going to deal with it. And it's going to be tough, but we have to make sure that they understand we want them to stay with us, as well as we want them to be here for when they retire. So we're just going to have to work real hard to make sure the contributions are fair so that we can keep them around.
Thank you.